Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. Police forces across England and Wales are battling rising levels of knife crime. Figures today show offences involving knives are rising sharply outside London, but with the capital still the most dangerous area. The trauma team at the Royal London Hospital in the East End is one of the busiest in Europe dealing with knife and gun attacks. And the BBC's Clive Myrie was given exclusive access to their work over a period of several months. You may find some of the images distressing.
This, the pained face of knife crime in Britain.
Still early, the guys aren't even tipping out the pubs yet. And absolutely anything could happen tonight.
These are stories over a 3-month period from the front line of the epidemic.
When he came in, he lost a lot of blood volume, his pulses were very weak.
Stories of courage, kindness and honesty.
Let's face it, it doesn't take much to get stabbed in our society today. Bottom line.
Arterial bleeder there, yeah?
Yep.
Stories of cowardice and, for some, immense strength.
Got a phone call that my son had been stabbed. They just stabbed him. Oh.
This is 16-year-old Lucas. At approximately 16:30, he's been allegedly assaulted by a group of people and sustained a single incision wound to the left upper quadrant.
Lucas Perry has been stabbed in the chest. One of 2 knife victims admitted to the Royal London Hospital this evening. His painkillers haven't kicked in.
They just got to open him up and see where the knife's gone, what it's hit, and take it from there, really. There's lots of things that could go wrong. It's absolutely awful.
Consultant Martin Griffiths will soon operate on Lucas. He's stable, but nothing's certain.
How are you doing? I'm right here. Open your eyes. Look at me. Take my hand. What's your name?
Lucas.
How old are you?
16.
16. And what happened to you? Left shoulder, right shoulder?
The attacker's knife pierced his liver and punctured his stomach after Lucas refused to hand over his bike and phone to a group of teen robbers. Martin is a veteran of the violence, but even he's shocked at what's happening now.
We know we're seeing a lot more, about 10% rise year on year, and we get the feeling that we're seeing more complex wounds.
What do you think's going on then? What's going on out there?
I hope it's just a blip. I worry that there's a change in attitude towards knife injury, that people are becoming better educated in how to cause more damage.
The attacks are no longer just random slashes, but targeted strikes designed to permanently maim or kill. It's late at night and Martin's on duty again. Just named NHS Violent Crime Reduction Chief for London, his role is to help society better understand why some carry knives, to reframe the debate, to save lives.
Let's strip away convention, shall we? Let's strip away what we expect to happen in our lives. Let's strip away resource, shelter, warmth, comfort, parenting, structure. Let's reintroduce chaotic parenting, inconsistent food, inconsistent shelter, no aspiration rather than no aspiration, and a group or a society around you in which that behaviour is the norm. And put around that a big fence over which people are judging you from and deeming you as being worthless. And let's give you no access to get out of that place. And let's see how you behave. What will happen? It's going to be explosive. It won't be positive.
We are dealing with a generation that are angry, that are disheartened, that have been neglected, that are let down, that no one really cares about.
Roisin Kevill is part of Martin Griffiths' team. An outreach worker based in the hospital, she can offer the direct support some families need as patients recover to prevent young people turning to violence.
If you've got a parent who's substance misuse or mental health or there's domestic violence, you cannot nurture that child as much as that child really needs nurturing because you're consumed with whatever you're holding as the adult.
But does it depress you?
Yeah.
You know, seeing this all the time.
Oh, it breaks my heart.
Victims admitted to hospital can seek revenge on their attackers and end up needing further treatment. But her work and that of colleagues has cut readmittance rates to the Royal London from 45% to just 1%.
All of you have been traumatised by this. All of you.
Lucas is okay, but what about his family?
If you look all right, you're probably not all right.
Yeah.
Okay? It's going to be a long process.
You all right?
You all right?
Hiya.
10 days later, his family tries to heal as Lucas gets better.
You do?
How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm alright.
But will he seek revenge on his attackers?
If you're walking along the street and you see them, what's going to happen?
Obviously, I wanted to go, like, I wanted to feel what I felt, but I wouldn't stab.
And not seeking to stab his attacker may just save his own life. On any given day in Britain, a knife attack will intrude on a young life, the youngest to die this year, 14. How best to give our youth a chance to end the pointless waste, we're still figuring out. Clive Myrie, BBC News.
Well, our home editor Mark Easton's here. I mean, Mark, Clive's film paints a horrifying picture of the impact of knife crime, and mainly on young people.
It's a troubling glimpse, isn't it, into a world of those on the front line trying to deal with the challenges of rising knife crime in this country. How bad is it? Well, the BBC has asked every police force in England and Wales about the number of serious knife offences they saw last year, and the figures confirm actually what we might expect. The problem is at its most acute in the capital. Of the 17 councils with the highest rates of serious knife offences, all but one is a London borough. Westminster is the worst, followed by inner city areas like Tottenham, Islington and Southwark. But then the picture changes. Central Manchester, Liverpool high on the list, and then you get smaller towns and cities, places like Slough, Nottingham, Blackpool, Oldham, Luton. It's an urban story, but it's also about deprivation. Knife crime thrives in places that are poor. And as we heard in Clive's film, those vulnerable to this kind of violence are often people who lack the critical support in their lives. And so I suppose, it's likely that the long-term answers to knife crime will be in finding ways to provide young people with, well, those who are at risk from the gangs and the criminal networks, providing them with the structures and the support that they desperately need.
Mark, thank you.